Hello, the viewers. Once again, I want to welcome you to my channel. Now, we are in the third and final part of this series about the immorality, sexual immorality among the Jehovah's Witnesses, which they call pledging faithfulness, or they make him it vowing, which is the arrangement of sanctifying and doing the ceremony of marriage among their members, which these members has former husbands or wives, which are their legal partners. So, what is the biblical reason or justifications that the leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses provide for this peculiar practice of marrying or doing marriages on their already married members? So, Matthew chapter 19 verses 7 to 9 is the primary scripture that they use to justify this peculiar and contradictory practice. And using Matthew chapter 19 verses 7 to 9, the leadership or the governing body has failed to consider or they completely ignored the fact that the Israelite has their religious law the same. Their everyday life is being governed by their religious law, and that religious law is also the prevailing secular laws and regulation among the Israelites. And that is the case during the time of Moses and even up to the time of Jesus Christ, when he is saying those words in Matthew chapter 19 verses 7 to 9. So, that is the problem and the situation of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They are living in different countries in the world that has secular laws very different or even more or as I may say it is contradictory to their own set of rules within their church. So, their laws regarding marriage, for example, here in the Philippines, is contradictory to the family code of the Philippines. So, that is why, in my previous video about this topic, I have mentioned that the Supreme Court, the justices of the Supreme Court of the Philippines, has this opinion that this practice of the Jehovah's Witnesses is a clear violation of the revised penal code of the Philippines, which is to say, as far as their opinion is concerned, this practice is a criminal, has a criminal aspect in regards to the law of the Philippines about adultery and concubinage. So that is the problem with that verse. They twist it. They totally ignored the background of Deuteronomy 24 verse 1 and Matthew chapter 19 verse 7 to 9. The Israelite is not the same as their church now. The Israelite has the religious law as their secular law. It is a theocratic nation. Now, the second the verse that the Jehovah's Witnesses is using to defend their position whenever their practices run contrary to the law of the land wherein they live. They uses frequently the verse of Acts chapter 5 verse 29, wherein the Apostle Peter and Apostle John refuses to obey the strict and harsh commandment of the Supreme Court, Jewish Supreme Court, and during that time, because the Supreme Court, the Jewish Supreme Court, which is the Sanhedrin, commanded the disciples of Christ to stop preaching about His name, about that name, the name of Christ. And so the disciples of Christ refuse to follow the instruction of the secular authority. But then the Jehovah's Witnesses now is using that to justify this kind of immorality, practice of immorality within their church. And one more thing about Acts chapter 5 verse 29. The preaching about the name of Christ or about the good news about the kingdom of Christ is a clear commandment from God. So the apostles and the disciples refuses an order from the secular government which is contrary to that order from God. But then, to marry someone or to decide to marry is an individual decision. It is not a command of God. So, the witnesses is very much out of context if they uses whenever they uses Acts chapter 5 verse 29 to justify their immoral and illegal practice of marrying individuals in their church which are already married to their former partners, which are their legal partners, wherein the former union or marriages has not yet been dissolved. So, it is immoral and illegal. So, for this, I want to relate yet another one story or event which has happened very recently in my congregation here in Olongapo City, which is the 20th Street congregation, to prove that this kind of practice among the witnesses is not just contradictory or contradiction to the principle of the Bible, but also contradictory to their own rules within their church. So it is confusing, contradictory and confusing among themselves. This is the story. A brother in our congregation has been abandoned by his legal wife for another man. And after some years, this brother has found a woman and he courted this woman. And they live without the legality of marriage. They are living together without legalizing their union, because the brother is very much married to his former wife. So, when our elders in the congregation has found about this, they disfellowship this brother because of immorality. Immorality, for he is living with a woman, not his legal wife. So, that is the rule. They disfellowship the brother. But then the woman started to study the Bible with the members of our congregations. So, to make the story short, she progressed to be qualified to become a member, a baptized member of the congregation. So, what will the elders do? If they will baptize her, they cannot do that because she is living with a disfellowship man, and that man is not her legal husband. So what did they do? They performed this vow of faithfulness, or pledging faithfulness to this couple. And they reinstated the brother. So, my question here is this: what is their ground of doing that peculiar marriage? If they did that before reinstating the brother, then they are conducting a marriage ceremony to a disfellowship man, which is very contradictory to their practice and their culture, that they don't have anything to do with any individual who is a disfellowship Jehovah's Witness. So, maybe they reinstated first the brother. But what will be the ground of his reinstatement, since he is still cohabiting with a woman, not his legal wife? So, we are in a circle here. Which thing are they going to do first? But whichever of it they do first, it is contradictory. It is clear that it is contradictory even to their own set of rules. So, it is no wonder that they are contradicting the very principle of the Bible, because even their own set of rules within their church, they contradict with this kind of practice of immorality. So, to add to the confusions of the brother, the Watchtower Society has these new rules regarding those who are being married with this kind of arrangement within their church. These new rules about these brothers or sisters is those who has benefited from this kind of arrangement are not qualified for any special designation or position within the church. So if your brother who was being married in this kind of arrangement, you are not qualified to become a ministerial servant or an elder in the congregation. So, why this kind of arrangement or restriction for those who are being married in this kind of practice within the Jehovah's Witnesses? So, it is confusing. Why are they restricting them? It has no bad thing, or it is not what do you call this? If it is not a practice that is being judged in the pages of the Bible. So, why put that kind of restriction? So, to describe this kind of practice, it is contradictory to the Bible, to their own rules, and confusing even among themselves. And also, and definitely, it is clear that it is immoral according to the Bible and according to the secular authorities of the land. So, that's all po. And once again, I want to ask you for your support to continue watching my videos, and please share it to your friends and whomever who wants to learn about the peculiar practices and beliefs of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Thank you and have a good day.